Welcome back to Coins Tool. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the Lincoln penny, and we'll be exploring a special coin that's creating quite a buzz in the collector's market, the 1940 Lincoln penny. A coin that has not only historical significance, but is also worth big bucks in today's market. In fact, its current market value has been recorded as high as $52,100. Before we talk about why this particular coin is so valuable, let's first take a quick look back at the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln penny was first minted in 1909, replacing the Indian head penny. It was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, and the coin was created to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln cent was revolutionary in many ways, as it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's likeness. Brenner's design has endured over a century, making it one of the longest-running designs in American coinage. But now, let's fast forward to 1940, right in the midst of World War II. This was a time of great uncertainty and change for the United States, and this period impacted nearly every aspect of life, including the minting of coins. Now, what makes the 1940 Lincoln penny particularly special is that little letter D under the year. This indicates that the penny was minted in Denver, Colorado. While the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints also produced Lincoln pennies in 1940, the Denver mint coins often catch the attention of collectors because of their unique minting characteristics. In 1940, the Denver mint produced over 81 million pennies, which might make you wonder, how could this coin be worth tens of thousands of dollars today? Well, as with most collectibles, it's not just about the number produced, but the rarity of high-grade specimens and specific varieties. The 1940 penny might seem common at first glance, but certain high-grade examples, especially those with minting errors, are incredibly rare. When we talk about coin grading, we're referring to its condition, graded on a scale from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Now, coins that have been preserved in near-perfect condition, graded as MS67 or higher, are extremely rare. And this is where the value skyrockets. For example, in 2021, a 1940 penny graded MS68 red by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, was sold for a jaw-dropping $52,100. That's right, folks. A penny that's over 80 years old and once worth only 1 cent is now worth over $50,000. So what's the secret behind this incredible value? Let's break it down. First and foremost, condition is everything. Coins that have been preserved in pristine, untouched condition are extremely hard to come by, especially from 1940. Collectors often seek out coins in mint state, MS, condition, meaning that they show no signs of wear from circulation. The coin sold for over $52,000 was in such incredible condition that it stood out among the millions of other 1940 pennies. Secondly, the coin retained its original red copper color. Over time, most pennies oxidize and turn brown, but coins that maintain their original reddish-orange tint are significantly more valuable. This coin was given a red designation, which is the highest designation for copper coins. And then, there's the factor of minting errors. Some 1940 pennies exhibit minor errors like die cracks, off-center strikes, or doubling of the date or mint mark. While the coin sold for $52,100 didn't have a notable error, pennies with these mistakes can fetch substantial amounts as well. So, you're probably wondering, do I have a valuable 1940 Lincoln penny in my collection? Here are a few things to check. First, check if the coin has a D mint mark under the year. Without it, your penny won't be a 1940 and likely won't have the same potential value. Next, examine the condition. The closer your coin is to mint state condition, the more valuable it becomes. Any nicks, scratches, or discoloration can reduce the value significantly. Lastly, if you believe your coin is in excellent condition, consider getting it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. A certified high-grade 1940D penny could turn out to be a real treasure. So, there you have it. The 1940D Lincoln penny is not just a piece of history, but potentially a life-changing treasure. If you happen to have one, especially in mint state condition, you might be sitting on a small fortune. We explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. If you're here, you're probably wondering about the 1962D Lincoln penny, what makes it special, its history, and whether or not it could be worth a fortune. Spoiler alert, some of these little coins could be valued at up to $50, even $100. That's right. This simple 1-cent coin, minted over 60 years ago, could fetch way more than its face value. So let's dive into the history, how to identify a valuable 1962D Lincoln penny, and what factors can push its market value up. First, let's talk about the origins of this coin. The Lincoln cent, or penny, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This was a big deal because Lincoln was the first American president to appear on a U.S. coin. By 1962, the Lincoln penny had already become an iconic piece of American currency. But this year, there was an important change made. The U.S. Mint decided to remove the tin from the penny's composition, resulting in a coin made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc. The 1962 penny comes in two varieties, one with no mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and another with a D mint mark, which indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. Today, we're focusing on the 1962D Lincoln penny. So how do you know if you have a 1962D penny, and more importantly, how can you tell if it's worth more than just 1 cent? First, look for the D mint mark located right below the year 1962 on the front of the coin. This D indicates it was minted in Denver, which produced a staggering 1.79 billion pennies that year. While that might seem like a massive number, and it is, there are some key factors that make certain 1962D pennies more valuable than others. Let's talk about what those are. When it comes to determining the value of any coin, especially the 1962D Lincoln penny, there are three main things you want to consider: condition, rarity, and errors. Condition is probably the most important factor. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70, with mint state coins being in nearly perfect condition. If your 1962D penny is in excellent condition, say, in mint state 65 or higher, its value could skyrocket. MS65 pennies from 1962D can sell for anywhere between $20 to $50, or even higher, depending on the demand. Next up, errors. Some of the most valuable 1962D Lincoln pennies have minting errors. These could include things like a double die, where the image or text is doubled due to a mistake during the minting process. A double die error can increase the coin's value significantly. We're talking anywhere from $50 to $100 for a penny with this kind of error. Finally, rarity. While 1.79 billion pennies were minted in Denver, finding a perfectly preserved penny or one with a rare error is not easy. Coins that are rare and in high demand among collectors can push the value up. Own collectors are willing to pay top dollar to complete their collection with a high-quality 1962D penny, especially if it's rare or in pristine condition. So let's talk about current market value. As of now, a 1962D Lincoln penny in average circulated condition is worth about 15 cents to 30 cents, slightly above its face value. But if you've got a penny in brilliant uncirculated condition or with a mint error, the price can jump. Some of the most pristine examples or error pennies have sold at auction for $50, $75, or even $100. The condition, rarity, and demand all come together to determine the final value. If you think you've got a valuable 1962 penny, here's what you need to do. First, get it professionally graded by a service like the PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. This will give potential buyers confidence in the coin's value. Next, consider selling it at a reputable auction house or online through platforms like eBay or Heritage Auctions. And remember, patience pays off. Sometimes waiting for the right buyer can get you a much higher price. And if you're looking to buy one, make sure to do your research. Look for certified coins and always check the seller's reputation. In conclusion, the 1962 Lincoln penny might seem like just another ordinary coin, but it has the potential to be worth much more. Whether it's because of its pristine condition, a rare minting error, or collector demand, this penny could fetch you up to $100. So next time you're checking your pocket change, keep an eye out for these little treasures. You never know when you might stumble upon a coin worth way more than just 1 cent. We're exploring a truly fascinating piece of coin history, the 1969 Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this 1 cent coin could be worth an incredible $44,100. That's right, a humble penny turning into a small fortune. But why is this coin so valuable? What makes it special? And how do you know if you have one? Well, sit tight, because we're going to cover everything from its history, key features, and what makes certain pennies so valuable in today's market. Let's jump right into it. First, let's talk a bit about the history of the 1969 Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln Memorial Penny. This coin was minted during a fascinating time in U.S. history. The D Mint mark tells us that it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the key U.S. mint locations. The coin is made from a bronze alloy, 95% copper, and 5% zinc, and it features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. The Denver Mint itself is notable for its role in producing billions of pennies over the years. 1969 was no exception, with tens of millions of pennies coming off the production line. But why, out of these millions, would one single penny be worth so much money? Well, here's where things get interesting. The reason certain 1969 pennies are worth a small fortune boils down to one word: errors. Error coins are coins that, due to mistakes during the minting process, end up looking different from what they were intended to be. And as it turns out, coin collectors, or numismatists, love these types of errors, often paying big bucks for them. The most valuable version of the 1969 Lincoln penny is the one with a double die error. A double die penny occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck more than once, creating a doubling effect, most notably on the text and features. In the case of the 1969 this error can be seen on the obverse, the front of the coin, where the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1969 show clear signs of doubling. Look closely here at the word Liberty. You can see that the letters appear to be outlined, almost like they're shadowed. This is the telltale sign of a double die error, and it's what sends collectors into a frenzy. So why does this make the 1969 penny worth so much? Well, this kind of error is extremely rare. Minting technology is pretty precise, so coins with these kinds of mistakes rarely make it out into circulation. When they do, their value skyrockets, especially if they're in good condition. Condition is everything when it comes to determining the value of a coin. A 1969 Lincoln penny in circulated condition, where it's been used and has wear, may only fetch a few $100 or $1,000. But if you have an uncirculated or near-perfect coin, graded highly by professional services like PCGS or NGC, That's when you get into the $40,000 range. Professional Coin Grading Services (PCGS) or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC) are the go-to institutions for grading coins. They assign a score based on the coin state, with grades ranging from poor P1 to mint state MS70. A 1969 Lincoln penny that scores above MS65 could easily be worth tens of thousands of dollars, especially with the double die error. As of right now, the current market value for one of these rare 1969 double die pennies can go as high as $44,100. That's right, one of these coins sold for a whopping $44,100 at auction. Imagine finding a penny in your old coin jar and discovering it's worth more than a new car. Now you might be asking, what are the chances that I have one of these rare pennies? Well, the odds are slim, but they're not impossible. In fact, stories pop up all the time of people discovering these rare pennies in pocket change, old collections, or even while metal detecting. So how can you check if your 1969 penny is worth a small fortune? Here's what you need to do. 1. First, grab a magnifying glass or, even better, a jeweler's loupe. You want to inspect your penny closely, focusing on the lettering and the date. 2. Look for signs of doubling on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year 1969. If you see doubling, it's time to get excited. 3. If you think you have a double die penny, your next step is to send it in for professional grading. Contact a service like PCGS or NGC to authenticate and grade your coin. It's important to get it professionally evaluated because this will give you a solid idea of its market value. Once your coin is authenticated, you can look into selling it. Some of the best places to sell rare coins include major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, or even specialized online coin marketplaces. Serious collectors are always on the lookout for rare error coins, like the 1969 double die penny. So what's the takeaway here? If you've got a jar of old pennies sitting around, it might be worth giving them a closer look. The 1969 penny is just one example of how even the smallest, seemingly insignificant coin can have immense value. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone with an eye for treasure, there's always a chance that the next big find is right under your nose. We're talking about a specific and rare penny that has taken the coin collecting world by storm, the 1992 Lincoln penny. Yes, this unassuming 1-cent coin could be worth up to $40,000 or more. The Lincoln penny, first minted in 1909, was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, features Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse, or heads, side. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a historical figure, and it has been a beloved staple in U.S. currency ever since. However, the story behind the 1992 penny is a bit more intriguing. By the early 1990s, the Lincoln penny had already undergone various design changes, particularly on the reverse, or tails, side of the coin. The reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial from 1959 until 2008. In 1992, the U.S. Mint unintentionally released a small number of pennies that had an unusual design, and this is where things get interesting. Now, the reason why some 1992 pennies are so valuable comes down to a simple yet crucial design error known as the close AM variety. You see, on regular pennies minted from 1959 to 1992, the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side are spaced apart. This is called the wide AM design. But in 1992, the U.S. Mint was preparing for a design change that would be fully implemented in 1993. During this transition, a few pennies with a close AM design, where the A and M are almost touching, were accidentally struck. What makes the 1992 D-Close AM penny so rare is that it wasn't supposed to be produced that year. The U.S. Mint used the wrong die, which resulted in a limited number of pennies bearing this error, a mistake that would go unnoticed for years. To date, only a small number of these 1992 D-Close AM pennies have been found, and their rarity has made them extremely valuable in the coin collecting community. In coin collecting, rarity is king. The fewer examples of a coin that exist, the higher the demand, and therefore, the higher the value. The 1992 D-Close AM penny is extremely rare. As of today, only a handful of these coins have been discovered in circulation. Some experts estimate that there may only be 20 to 30 of these pennies still out there, waiting to be found. But rarity alone isn't the only factor. Condition also plays a crucial role. In coin grading, mint state coins, which are nearly flawless and appear just as they did when they were first struck, can fetch the highest prices. For example, a 1992 D-Close AM penny in MS67 red condition, which is an exceptional state of preservation, sold for an astonishing $25, $8.50 at auction. And in 2022, a 1992 D-Close AM penny in MS67 plus condition sold for over $40, $100. That's right, over $40,000 for a single penny. But don't worry if your penny isn't in perfect condition. Even circulated examples of the 1992 D-Close AM variety can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Alright, so how can you tell if you have one of these valuable pennies in your collection? Here's a step-by-step guide to help you identify the 1992 D-Close AM penny. First, look for the year 1992 on the obverse side of the penny, just below Lincoln's portrait. If the penny is from 1992, you're on the right track. The next thing to check is whether the penny was minted in Denver. You can tell by looking for the small D mint mark just under the date. Now flip the penny over and focus on the word America. Specifically, look at the letters A and M in the word. On most pennies from 1992, there will be a noticeable gap between the A and M. This is called the wide AM variety, and it's the normal version of the penny. However, on the rare close AM variety, the letters A and M are almost touching or have only a tiny gap between them. If your 1992 D penny has the close AM design, you could be holding a coin worth a small fortune. Finally, if you think you've found one, make sure to check its condition. The better the coin's condition, the more it could be worth. Coins that are uncirculated or in mint condition can command the highest prices. As of today, the market value for a 1992 D-Close AM Lincoln penny ranges anywhere from $500 for a circulated example in good condition, all the way up to $40,000 or more for coins in mint state condition. Why the high value? Well, with only a few of these coins known to exist, and coin collectors always on the lookout for rare varieties, demand has continued to grow. Auction houses have seen record prices for this penny, and prices are expected to rise as more collectors become aware of this hidden treasure. 1992 D-Close AM penny ***. What should you do next? Here are a few tips to get the most value out of your coin. First, get your coin authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify that your penny is indeed the rare close AM variety and assign it a grade based on its condition. Rare coins like this often fetch the highest prices at auctions. Reach out to a reputable auction house that specializes in rare coins. You can also sell your coin on online platforms like eBay, but be aware of listing fees and make sure to set a competitive price. And there you have it. Who knew that a simple 1992 D Lincoln penny could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? This just goes to show that treasure can sometimes be hiding in plain sight. So, the next time you go through your change, make sure to give your pennies a second look. You never know what you might find. We're going to talk about something exciting. Yes, It's the 2017 Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this seemingly common coin is worth a staggering $30,100 in certain conditions. But how did this happen? What makes this penny so special? And how can you tell if you have one of these hidden treasures in your pocket change? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know all the ins and outs of this incredible penny. Asterisk, the Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the iconic image of the 16th president has remained on the coin for over a century, making it one of the most recognized and widely circulated coins in U.S. history. Asterisk, over the years, the design has seen some updates, like the reverse design change in 1959, which introduced the Lincoln Memorial, and the major redesign in 2010, when the reverse started featuring a Union shield. But the basic elements, Lincoln's profile on the obverse and his legacy as a leader, have stood the test of time. Asterisk, now, let's talk about the 2017 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin might look just like any other penny you'd find in your change jar, but there's more to this little coin than meets the eye. Minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark, the 2017 Lincoln penny was part of the standard circulation run, meaning millions were made. Asterisk, in fact, over 4.4 billion 2017 Lincoln pennies were minted across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, with over 2 billion coming out of Denver alone. So, you're probably thinking, with billions in circulation, how can any of these pennies be worth more than face value, let alone over $30,000? Well, that's where things get interesting. Asterisk, the key factor that determines the incredible value of certain 2017 Lincoln pennies lies in their condition and rarity. The penny that fetched over $30,000 was graded as a MS69 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, which is one of the highest possible grades a coin can receive. MS69 stands for Mint State 69, meaning it's nearly flawless with only microscopic imperfections visible under magnification. Asterisk, for context, a regular penny that's been in circulation will typically be in lower grades, like fine or very fine, and even fresh from the mint pennies may only achieve a grade of MS60 or MS65. But MS69 is almost as good as it gets. Only a handful of 2017 pennies have been graded this high, which is what makes them so valuable. Rarity and condition drive up the value exponentially. Asterisk, one particular MS69 2017 Lincoln penny sold for a jaw-dropping $30,100 at auction. This sale set a new record for modern pennies, turning heads in the numismatic community. But why did this coin, in particular, attract such a high price? Well, it's all about scarcity at that ultra-high grade. Collectors are willing to pay big money for coins that are nearly perfect, especially if there are only a few known examples. Asterisk, now, let's talk about how you can identify a potentially valuable 2017 Lincoln penny. The first thing you need to do is check for the D mint mark, which indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. This is located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. Asterisk, next, examine the coin's condition carefully. Look for any signs of wear, scratches, or damage. Remember, the most valuable pennies are those that are in pristine, uncirculated condition. If you believe your penny is in near perfect condition, you might want to consider having it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Asterisk, getting a coin graded can be an investment, but if your penny comes back with a high grade like MS69, it could be worth thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Asterisk, as of now, the market value of a 2017 Lincoln penny in MS69 condition can range from $5,000 to over $30,000 depending on the rarity, demand, and collector interest. In fact, the coin that sold for $30,100 was an outlier, but it highlights just how high prices can go under the right circumstances. Asterisk: the demand for high-grade modern coins is growing, and auctions have seen strong bidding wars over these pristine examples. If you happen to have one in your collection, now might be the time to explore its potential value. Asterisk: so, there you have it, the story of how a simple 2017 Lincoln penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary coins can hold extraordinary value in the world of numismatics. Asterisk: if you're interested in coin collecting, always be on the lookout for pennies and other coins in high condition, and consider having your valuable finds graded. Who knows? You might just have the next $30,000 coin sitting in your pocket right now. Asterisk: we're diving into one of the most sought-after coins in U.S. coin collecting, the 1939 Lincoln penny. You may be surprised, but this seemingly humble penny could be worth a lot of money. Stick with me until the end of this video, because you won't want to miss its current market value and the factors that make it so valuable. Now, before we get into the exciting part, the value and current worth of this penny, let's take a step back and look at its history. Every coin has a story to tell, and this little piece of copper is no exception. Let's start by understanding the background of this iconic Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, was a revolutionary design for American currency. It replaced the Indian head penny and was created to honor the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. This was the first U.S. coin to feature a portrait of a real person, and who better than one of the most iconic presidents in American history? The 1939 penny was minted during a period when the country was beginning to recover from the Great Depression. Coin collectors today appreciate this era because many coins, including this one, were struck with high quality and precision. So, what exactly makes the 1939 Lincoln penny so special? Well, the S Mint mark on the coin stands for the San Francisco Mint, where this penny was produced. During the 1930s and 1940s, the San Francisco Mint had lower production runs compared to other mints like Philadelphia or Denver. In 1939, only around 52 million pennies were minted at San Francisco, which was considered a relatively low mintage at the time. But here's where things get interesting. While 52 million might seem like a large number, finding a 1939 penny in pristine condition today is rare. Most of these pennies were circulated and worn down over time, meaning that coins in mint state or uncirculated condition are extremely valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about something crucial: coin grading. Coin grading is one of the biggest factors when it comes to determining the value of a coin, especially with something like the 1939 penny. Grading is done on a scale from 1 to 70, where a grade of 1 represents a coin that's heavily worn and 70 is a perfect, flawless coin. A 1939 Lincoln penny in circulated condition, graded around fine or very fine, might only be worth a few cents to a few dollars. But if you've got one in uncirculated condition, it can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Here's what to look for. If your coin still has full details on Lincoln's hair, cheekbones, and ears, as well as sharp lines in the wheat stalks on the reverse, you're looking at a higher grade coin. Coins with a beautiful red luster, called red pennies, are even more desirable than those that have turned brown due to age. Now, let's get into the real question. Why is the 1939 Lincoln penny worth so much? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's all about condition and rarity. Many collectors are specifically looking for high-grade, uncirculated examples of this coin. The 1939 penny, when found in brilliant uncirculated condition, can fetch an impressive price. In fact, recent auctions have seen top-quality 1939 pennies selling for more than $58,000. That's right, over $58,000 for a single penny that most people would overlook in their change jar. This price was for a penny graded as MS68 red, which is considered near perfection for a coin of this age. This is why it's important to know what you have. Just imagine, you might have one of these valuable coins hiding in an old coin jar or collection, and it could be worth a fortune. Now, let's talk about the current market value of the 1939s penny. As of today, a standard circulated 1939s Lincoln penny might fetch you anywhere between $0.50 to $5, depending on the condition. Not bad for an old penny, right? But here's where it gets exciting. If you have one in mint state condition, you're looking at $1.30 to $1.50 or more. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have a truly spectacular example graded MS68 or higher, your coin could be worth upwards of $58,000. That's the price one of these coins recently sold for at auction. The market for rare coins is always evolving, but right now, demand for high-quality Lincoln cents from the 1930s is strong, and prices are reflecting that. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for rare coins in excellent condition, which is driving up the value of this already rare penny. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1939s penny? First, you'll want to have your coin professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Getting your coin certified is the best way to guarantee its value in the market. Once you know the grade of your coin, you can decide if you want to sell it or hold onto it. You can sell through online platforms like eBay, but if you have a high-value coin, it might be worth reaching out to a professional auction house that specializes in rare coins. So there you have it. The 1939s Lincoln penny, a small coin with a big story and the potential for an even bigger payday. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting out, it's always worth checking your change and old collections for these hidden gems. Who knows? You could be holding onto a penny worth tens of thousands of dollars without even realizing it. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest coin collecting tips and updates. And let me know in the comments below, do you have a 1939s penny in your collection? I'd love to hear your stories. We're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting and exploring one of the most sought-after pieces, the 1938 Lincoln penny. Yep, this tiny copper coin from over 80 years ago is worth a fortune today, up to $65, $100. But how did a 1-cent coin become so valuable? What's the story behind it? And what should you be looking for if you're hoping to strike it rich with one of these pennies? Let's break it all down, from the historical significance to the current market value. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since its first minting in 1909, and it still circulates today. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, the penny features President Abraham Lincoln on the front, or obverse side, and 2 wheat stalks on the back, earning it the nickname the Wheat Penny. To start, 1938 was a relatively low mintage year for the Lincoln penny, especially at the Denver Mint, which is where the D mint mark comes from. Only about 20 million of these pennies were minted in Denver that year, which may sound like a lot, but in the world of coin collecting, that's actually considered a modest number. Coins minted in lower quantities tend to become rarer over time as they get lost, damaged, or worn beyond recognition. The fewer high-quality examples that remain, the higher the demand. Additionally, the Denver Mint didn't always produce as many pennies as other mints like the Philadelphia Mint, which adds to its exclusivity. Collectors love coins with a D mint mark because they're often harder to come by. The value of the 1938 Lincoln penny hinges on several factors, but the most important ones are condition, rarity, and demand. If you have a penny that's in pristine condition, what's known as mint state or MS grade, you could be sitting on a goldmine. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC). A score of MS60 means the coin is in mint state with only minor imperfections, but the most valuable examples are usually graded MS65 and higher, sometimes even reaching MS67 or MS68.I. In 2019. An MS67 example of the 1938 D Lincoln penny sold for an astonishing $65,100 at auction. So what's special about this particular coin? It's near perfect with virtually no signs of wear or handling. While millions were minted, only a handful remain in such impeccable condition. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar to complete their collections, especially for rare and high-quality coins like this. Even coins in lower grades, such as MS64 or MS65, can fetch several hundred to several $1,000s. So, if you find one in your collection or come across one in a coin shop, you might still make a significant profit. First, look at the date. You'll need to find a penny from 1938. Then, check for the D mint mark, which should be located right below the year on the front of the coin, to the right of Lincoln's portrait. If the penny you have shows any other letter, like a P for Philadelphia or an S for San Francisco, it's not the coin you're looking for. But just having a 1938 D penny doesn't guarantee it's worth a lot of money. To make sure it's valuable, you'll need to consider its condition. A coin in poor, or circulated, condition, meaning it's been used and handled over the years, won't be worth nearly as much as one that's been preserved in excellent condition. The best way to determine your coin's true value is to have it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These services will carefully examine your coin under magnification, assess its condition, and assign it a grade based on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. Once your coin is graded, it will be sealed in a protective case, and its grade will be officially certified. Coins that are professionally graded tend to sell for significantly more because buyers know exactly what they're getting. As we mentioned earlier, the highest price paid for a 1938 D penny was over $65,100 for an MS67 example. However, prices can vary depending on the condition of the coin. If your penny is graded MS65, it could still be worth $1,000 to $3,000. And even in lower grades, like MS60 or MS62, you could fetch $100 to $500. If you're lucky enough to find one in circulated condition, it might not bring in quite as much, but even these coins can sell for a premium compared to their original face value, often between $3 and $30. The coin market can fluctuate based on collector demand, but the 1938 D Lincoln penny consistently holds value thanks to its rarity and historical significance. The 1938 D Lincoln penny is a fascinating piece of American history and a perfect example of how something as small as a 1-cent coin can turn into a treasure worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. So next time you're sorting through your change, make sure to keep an eye out for one of these rare gems. We're diving deep into a coin that's become a star among collectors and history buffs alike. The 1936 Lincoln Wheat Penny. It's not just any penny. In fact, some of these pennies have fetched prices as high as $76,100 in auctions. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent, now worth tens of thousands of dollars. So how did a humble 1-cent coin rise to such fame? And what should you be on the lookout for? Let's break down the history, mint marks, and what makes this penny worth a small fortune. The story of the Lincoln penny dates back to 1909, when it was first introduced by the U.S. Mint to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's likeness, breaking away from the tradition of using allegorical figures such as liberty. But today, we're specifically talking about the 1936 Lincoln Wheat Penny. These pennies were struck in huge numbers by the U.S. Mint. In fact, over 309 million were minted that year across 3 different mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. These pennies are instantly recognizable with Lincoln's profile on the front, also known as the obverse, and 2 wheat stalks on the back, known as the reverse. These wheat pennies were produced from 1909 to 1958, so they're quite iconic in the world of numismatics. But what makes the 1936 penny stand out, especially when millions were minted? And why would anyone pay upwards of $76, $100 for a single penny? Before we jump into why some of these pennies are so valuable, let's first talk about the mint marks. These marks tell you which branch of the U.S. Mint produced the coin, and they can significantly impact the penny's value. Coins without a mint mark were minted in Philadelphia. With over 309 million coins struck here, pennies without a mint mark are generally common and not as rare. But there are exceptions, which we'll get into later. The D-mint mark means the coin was minted in Denver. Denver struck around 40 million pennies in 1936, making them somewhat rarer, but still not that hard to find. Coins with the S-mint mark were produced at the San Francisco Mint, which struck just over 29 million pennies in 1936. While fewer were minted here, the real value lies elsewhere. So what makes some of these 1936 pennies worth so much? One word: varieties. This is one of the most sought-after varieties. A double die error happens when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice, creating a doubling effect. If you look closely at the date, especially the numbers 1936 or Lincoln's profile, you can see this doubling. It's especially noticeable on the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Now, if you find one of these rare double-die pennies in excellent condition, we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. A top-rated specimen was sold for a whopping $76, $100 at auction. Imagine finding that in your spare change drawer. Condition matters a lot in numismatics. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect mint state. If you have a 1936 penny that's graded MS65 or higher, you could be looking at a high-value coin. The higher the grade, the more a collector is willing to pay. Coins in near-perfect condition are exceedingly rare due to circulation wear over the years. Another rarity to look out for is proof coins. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors and often have a much sharper appearance with a mirror-like finish. Proof pennies from 1936 are highly collectible and can fetch thousands of dollars depending on their condition. Now, let's talk about what these coins are worth today. Of course, not every 1936 penny is going to be worth $76,100, but they still hold significant value based on a few key factors. For a standard 1936 penny without any errors or special conditions, prices range from $0.25 to around $5 depending on the coin's grade. These are still widely collected by enthusiasts. Coins from the Denver or San Francisco Mint typically range from $1 to around $10 in circulated condition, with uncirculated coins going for higher prices. Here's the big one. If you're lucky enough to have the 1936 double-die obverse penny, even in circulated condition, you could easily be looking at prices starting around $1.50 to $2.5 depending on the grade. The most pristine examples, like we mentioned earlier, have gone for over $70,000. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1936 penny, and what should you do next? Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to examine your penny closely. Look for signs of doubling on the date, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." These details can make the difference between a common coin and a rare one. If you believe you have a high-grade coin or an error coin, consider getting it professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade certification can drastically increase the coin's value. When it comes to selling, consider reputable auction houses online platforms like eBay, or numismatic dealers. Make sure to do your research and understand the potential value of your coin before selling. So, there you have it, the fascinating history and surprising value of the 1936 Lincoln Wheat Penny. From its humble beginnings to becoming a highly sought-after collectible worth thousands, this penny is a testament to how small treasures can hold big value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keep an eye out for these gems. You never know what could be hiding in your pocket change. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more about coin collecting and valuable finds, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest uploads. Who knows? You might have a hidden fortune sitting right at home. See you in the next video. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1935 Lincoln penny. This little copper coin may seem like just another penny, but it's actually worth a lot more than you think. In fact, some of these coins can go for a whopping $85,000 to $100,000 on the current market. So what makes this particular penny so valuable? Let's explore its rich history, unique characteristics, and how you can determine its true worth. Let's start with the history. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This iconic design by Victor David Brenner replaced the Indian head penny, and it was the first U.S. coin to feature the likeness of an actual person. The obverse, or front, of the coin shows Lincoln's profile, while the reverse originally displayed two wheat stalks, giving the coin its nickname, the Wheat Penny. Fast forward to 1935. America was in the midst of the Great Depression, and pennies, like all coins, were being minted in large numbers. In Denver, the United States Mint produced the 1935 Lincoln penny. The D mint mark below the date signifies that this coin was minted in Denver, one of the few mints operating at the time alongside Philadelphia and San Francisco. What makes the 1935 penny particularly interesting is that over 47 million of them were minted in Denver that year, which may seem like a lot. However, most of these pennies have either been lost to circulation or worn down over the decades, making high-quality specimens a rare find today. So why is the 1935 penny worth so much today? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. While millions of these pennies were minted, only a small fraction of them exist in uncirculated or mint state condition. The value of any coin is largely determined by its grade, which is a measure of its physical state, from heavily worn to flawless condition. A penny in good condition may only fetch a few dollars, but a penny in mint state condition, with sharp details and no wear, can be incredibly valuable. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that have been preserved in pristine condition for nearly 90 years. In fact, some of the highest graded 1935 pennies have sold for anywhere between $85,000 and $100,000 at auction. Now, if you've got a 1935 penny in your collection, how do you know if it's valuable? First, you'll want to inspect the condition of the coin. Look for sharp details in Lincoln's profile, clear edges, and a strong strike on the wheat stalks on the reverse side. If the coin shows heavy wear, it's less likely to fetch a high price. But if the details are crisp and the coin still has its original luster, you may have something special. Next, check for any errors or anomalies. Coins with minting errors, like double dies or off-center strikes, can be worth even more. The 1935 Lincoln penny is known to have some rare error varieties that collectors seek out. Finally, have your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A high grading from these services will greatly increase the value of your coin and make it easier to sell to collectors or at auction. Now, let's talk numbers. The value of the 1935 penny can vary widely depending on its condition and grade. For a penny in good condition, you might only get around 50 cents to a few dollars. But if you have one in mint state condition, the value can skyrocket. Right now, a 1935 D penny in mint state 67, which is one of the highest grades possible, can sell for around $85,000 to $100,000. In fact, in recent auctions, these coins have consistently hit the five-figure mark, and their value is only expected to rise as fewer high-quality examples are found in circulation. With the demand for rare Lincoln pennies increasing, many experts believe the value of high-grade 1935 D pennies will continue to appreciate over the coming years. So, if you have one of these coins or come across one, it might be worth getting it appraised and graded. If you're eager to add a valuable 1935 D penny to your collection, here are a few tips. First, check your pocket change or family coin jars. You'd be surprised how many valuable coins are still floating around in circulation today. While the odds of finding a high-grade 1935 D penny are slim, it's not impossible. Second, visit coin shops, attend coin shows, or check out online auctions. Many serious collectors and dealers specialize in Lincoln pennies, and you might be able to find a good deal if you know what to look for. Always be sure to buy from reputable sources and verify the coin's authenticity. Finally, consider investing in a coin grading guide and a magnifying glass to help you assess the condition of your coins before making any big purchases. Knowledge is key in the world of coin collecting, and the more you know, the better your chances of finding valuable pieces. So there you have it. The 1935 D Lincoln penny may be small, but its value can be huge. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting out, it's always worth checking those pennies in your pocket or old coin jars. You never know when you might strike gold, or in this case, copper. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future coin collecting tips and insights. Thanks for watching and happy hunting!